Okay, so this one we're going to be multiplying rational expressions, multiplying and dividing. So I want to go back to just fractions real quick and talk about how to multiply fractions. So if I have something like 4/5 times 1/5, remember the rule is to just multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and that's my answer. Now, what I want you to look at is what if I had 4/5 times, let's say, 5/6. And yes, I could just multiply across and get 20 over 30, but then I would need to reduce, and that's 2/3. Okay? But what about if we try to reduce first before we multiply? And that's the concept that you're going to have to use when we are doing the rational expressions. And so I see a 5 here in the numerator and a 5 in the denominator, so I know I can cancel those. Okay? And if you want, you could say 5 goes into 5 1, 5 goes into 5 once. Then I look at 4 and 6, and I know 2 will go into 4 2 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now, nothing else will cancel, so now I multiply across. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3. And so this concept here of this canceling our factors is what we're going to be using. Okay? So let's start with just a simple one that is just multiplying monomials. So I'm first going to look at my whole number 2, and there's no other whole number, so it's still going to be in my answer. And then I'm going to look at my a, so I have an a squared and an a, so I could think of that, well, a goes into a once, and a goes into a squared twice, so that's going to leave me another a, or again, do your rules of exponents. So I have a b squared, so I could cancel one b, then I could cancel the other b, okay? Or I could have multiplied and reduced, either way. But I'm left with 2a over c. Okay? And that's what you're going to be doing on these. So when I come over here to my multiplication, your first step that you're going to want to do every time is take all 4, okay, so this is like 4 problems in one sometimes, and you're going to want to factor them. So I need factors of a negative 15 that give me a negative 2. So this would be y minus 3, y plus 2, y plus, sorry, my phone buzzed and I got distracted. How about y minus 5, my bad, and y plus 3, how about that? So negative 5 and 3 is a negative 15, and when I add, I get a negative 2. There we go. Sorry about that. And then 8 and y plus 3. So now when I go to cancel, these two here, the y plus 3s, that's kind of like the 5s up there. Okay? They're exactly the same thing, so I know I can cancel them out. And then my 4 and my 8 are like my 4 and my 6 there. I know 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 8 twice. So your numbers will work just like normal. And so now I'm going to have 2 times y minus 5 over, and let's see what's left. That canceled and that canceled, so I've just got it over 1. So in this case, that's all I need. Okay? Now, sometimes according to what worksheet you're doing, they may go ahead and multiply that out. I personally don't think there is a need for that. Okay, but we can discuss that later. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go down to 4, just while we're at it here, because it's another multiplication before we back up and do a division. So on this one, I'm going to look at my new, again, 4 problems. So I'm just going to start. So on this one, is there a number that'll go into 5n and 15, and that is 5. And that's going to leave me with n plus 3. I could take out the 5. Here I could take out a 2. That's going to leave me with n plus 2. So always look for your greatest common factor. Here I can take out a 4, and here I can take out a 3. Okay? you can either start with your numbers or you could start with your binomials. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with my numbers. I'm at 5. Nope, there's nothing that'll go into 5. 2, I know 2 will go into 2 once, and 2 goes into 4 twice. And then there's nothing I can do with the 3. But then I do see that I've got an n plus 3 in the numerator and an n plus 3 in the denominator. And again, one needs to be in the numerator, one in the denominator. And an n plus 2 and an n plus 2. So when I look at everything that I have reduced or canceled out, the only thing left up here is a 5. And the only thing left here would be the 2 times the 3, which is 6. Okay? Now, one thing I do need to back up, because I was looking at this other stuff and I wasn't focused on my talking about what it couldn't equal. But in this case, y could not equal negative 3. And here n cannot be negative 2 and a negative 3. Okay? So you're going to do that same thing with all the multiplications. Okay? And the only thing that makes them harder is when they get to be trinomials. So it just makes the multiplication or the factoring just a little bit more difficult. Okay, so let's go ahead and do division. Of course, just like division of fractions, if you'll remember when I divide, if I have 2/3 divided by, let's say, 4/5, okay, the rule is to leave the first one the same, and you multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, multiply by the reciprocal. And now I could see that 2 will go into 2, 1, 2 goes into 4 twice, 5 and 3 won't reduce, multiply now across, and I get 5, 6. That's my final answer. So that is exactly what we're going to do in this problem here. So we are going to take and first rewrite our problem. I leave the first one the same, and I multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? Now, guys, when you are doing these, let's just talk about it. I expect you to show on your paper when you're doing these. Now, this one does give you some room. You can probably fit everything in, but unless you write really large, I know a couple of you guys know you write large, don't try to fit it in. So, prefer you to do this on your own paper. So, you're going to write the problem, then underneath it, okay, preferably, some of you want to go out to the side, that's okay on these. We're going to factor and then reduce. Okay? Same way here. You need to write your original problem. You need to write it rewritten as a multiplication problem. Don't just cross out and redo it that way. We don't do that. We rewrite it as a multiplication. And now we're going to go through and factor. So the x minus 5 I can't do anything with. The 6, the 12 I can't right now. I'm going to go ahead and take out a 2. And I get x minus 5. Okay, now I'm going to do my reducing. I'm going to start with my numbers. So I'm going to go here. So 6 goes into 6, 1. 6 goes into 12 twice. Now I can continue because now this 2 and this 2 can cancel. I also have this x minus 5 and this x minus 5 that cancel. And when I'm done, it looks like there's nothing left. Well, there is something left. Technically, all of these are 1s. And so my final answer is just 1. Okay? Now, again, you do need to state what x cannot be. And since you are multiplying by the reciprocal here, that puts this in the denominator, so x cannot be 5. Okay? So that is the only addition that we're doing with division, is you have to rewrite it to a multiplication, and then it becomes the same steps as your multiplication.